Hello and welcome back. Alright, so last time we finished up with the revisits and started into the Mushroom Kingdom. Trying to gather as many moons as we can. And the Mushroom Kingdom is filled to the brim with boss fights. Boss re-fights, where they upgrade their strength. So this is gonna be a load of fun.
It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. Marble machine is dropping marbles today. It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. There's a long way to go, we're not ready now. Problems to solve, music is the goal. A long way to go, we're not ready now. Problems to solve, music is the goal. It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. There's a long way to go, we're not ready now. Problems to solve.
Oh, he can't find any more hints. Okay. So he's not going to hit me on all of Toadettes. That's cool. That means I'm done here. Just gotta come back for Toadette achievements. Oh, wow. There's only about 40 moons left to go. Cool. I need to go to the Metro Kingdom, because that has the painting that goes over to, the Wooded Kingdom. Not that I know where it is, I just know it's there. Oh, hey, what do you know? Right here. Cool. Secret path to the Steam Gardens. There we go, there's 40 moons left to grab. And we are headed off to a place that we've never been before. The Dark Side. Hello, I'm Dragon Rider Luke. I'm a Christian streamer, and I'm always up for a friendly chat about my faith. I also think that it's important that people read or hear the Word of God frequently, so the next 5 minutes or so will be a chapter from the Bible. Judges 16. One day Samson went to Gaza, where he saw a prostitute. He went in to spend the night with her. The people of Gaza were told, "Samson is here," so they surrounded the place and lay in wait for him all night at the city gate. They made no move during the night, saying, "At dawn we'll kill him." But Samson lay there only until the middle of the night. Then he got up and took hold of the doors of the city gate, together with the 2 posts, and tore them loose, bar and all. He lifted them to his shoulders and carried them to the top of the hill that faces Hebron. Sometime later, he fell in love with a woman in the valley of Sorek whose name was Delilah. The rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, "See if you can lure him into showing you the secret of his great strength, and how we can overpower him so that we may tie him up and subdue him. Each one of us will give you 1,100 shekels of silver." So Delilah said to Samson, "Tell me the secret of your great strength and how you can be tied up and subdued." Samson answered her, "If anyone ties me with 7 fresh bowstrings that have not been dried, I'll become as weak as any other man." Then the rulers of the Philistines brought her 7 fresh bowstrings that had not been dried, and she tied him with them. With men hidden in the room, she called to him, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." But he snapped the bowstrings as easily as a piece of string snaps when it comes close to a flame. So the secret of his strength was not discovered. Then Delilah said to Samson, "You have made a fool of me. You lied to me. Come now, tell me how you can be tied." He said, "If anyone ties me securely with new ropes that have never been used, I'll become as weak as any other man." So Delilah took new ropes and tied him with them. Then, with men hidden in the room, she called to him, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." But he snapped the ropes off his arms as if they were threads. Delilah then said to Samson, "All this time you have been making a fool of me and lying to me. Tell me how you can be tied." He replied, "If you weave the 7 braids of my head into the fabric of the loom and tighten it with a pin, I'll become as weak as any other man." So while he was sleeping, Delilah took the 7 braids of his head, wove them into the fabric, and tightened it with the pin. Again she called to him, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He awoke from his sleep and pulled up the pin and the loom with the fabric. Then she said to him, "How can you say I love you when you won't confide in me? This is the 3rd time you have made a fool of me and haven't told me the secret of your great strength." With such nagging, she prodded him day after day until he was sick to death of it. So he told her everything. "No razor has ever been used on my head," he said, "because I have been a Nazarite dedicated to God from my mother's womb. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as any other man." When Delilah saw that he had told her everything, she sent word to the rulers of the Philistines. "Come back once more, he has told me everything." So the rulers of the Philistines returned with the silver in their hands. After putting him to sleep on her lap, she called for someone to shave off the 7 braids of his hair, and so began to subdue him, and his strength left him. Then she called, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He awoke from his sleep and thought, "I'll go out as before and shake myself free." But he did not know that the Lord had left him. Then the Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and took him down to Gaza. Binding him with bronze shackles, they set him to grinding grain in the prison. But the hair on his head began to grow again after it had been shaved. Now the rulers of the Philistines assembled to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon their god and to celebrate, saying, "Our God has delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands." When the people saw him, they praised their God, saying, "Our God has delivered our enemy into our hands, and the one who laid waste to our land and multiplied our slain." While they were in high spirits, they shouted, "Bring out Samson to entertain us." So they called Samson out of the prison, and he performed for them. When they stood him among the pillars, Samson said to the servant who held his hand, "Put me where I can feel the pillars that support the temple, so that I may lean against them." Now the temple was crowded with men and women. All the rulers of the Philistines were there, and on the roof were about 3,000 men and women watching Samson perform. Then Samson prayed to the Lord, "Sovereign Lord, remember me. Please, God, strengthen me just once more, and let me with one blow get revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes." Then Samson reached toward the 2 central pillars on which the temple stood. Bracing himself against them, his right hand on one and his left hand on the other, Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines." Then he pushed with all his might, and down came the temple on the rulers and all the people in it. Thus he killed many more when he died than while he lived. Then his brothers and his father's whole family went down to get him. They brought him back and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the tomb of Manoah his father. He had led Israel 20 years. May God bless the reading of his word. Rabbit Ridge. On my previous playthrough, I did come here. I didn't do very much, but I did come here. This is the spot where I gave up, because it was just too hard. So what if you stopped the wedding? You can't stop me! You can't stop any of us, Brutals! Come on! Let's see you try! I could jump on the one that I know is him, but I'm just gonna wait. This is a boss rush, in case you're wondering. It's not just him. It's like a door. Oh, it's you. Not nice barging into our kingdom like you own the place. What, you didn't know this is where we live? I guess I still got things to teach ya. Come on. Really? Oh my goodness. There we go, that's what I was trying for. Wow. I'm gonna have problems with this. Boss rush. Wow. There we go. Now I have 2 health to do the entire rest of the thing with. Yay. I have done this before. It's just the thing afterwards where I gave up. And no, I'm not talking about the next kingdom. There is more stuff here to do once we finish this. Now, you probably knew that already, considering we haven't gotten any moons yet and we have 40 to go. Ha! Our home here's fine and all, but I'm ready for my own ship. Yours! Oh yeah, the Odyssey is gonna fit me real good once I've kicked you to the curb. Nice triangle. What? Okay. And now I have to do the whole thing again. Yay. Gotta say, the whole time we were perfect as perfect gets. Did everything Bowser wanted. Then you mucked it up. No one will hire us now. So guess what? You're gonna pay for all of it. Yeah, he doesn't really benefit from moon physics. Except in that respect. Answer coins. Hello, Toad. Or Captain Toad. I was on an extra floaty walk when I wound up here somehow. Wouldn't you know it, I found a power moon along the way. And it's all yours, Explorer. Captain Toad on the dark side. Now I wonder what's up top. Let's finish this, party crasher. Because of the lighter physics, I don't get Pokios here. I get Hammer Bros. There we go, that's what I wanted. One more. Arrival at Rabbit Ridge. You got the King's Crown and King's Outfit. Alright. Dark side. Remote region, even for the moon. Rabbit Ridge, the last word in dedicated wedding planning. Population unknown, size unknown, locals rabbitish, currency unknown, industry wedding planning, temperature unknown. Sadly inedible tower and similarly inedible owner. A tasty-looking tower. This ostentatious tower was carved at the direction of the vegetable-loving Madame Brutal, who lords over Rabbit Ridge. Her underlings, the Brutals, live within and always have a warm welcome for visitors. Topper, client relations. Responsible for client relations on behalf of the Brutal's wedding planning firm, Topper is usually found on-site, troubleshooting. You can tell how serious he is about a battle by the number of hats he has stacked up on his head. He doesn't tap into his full hat reserves except for the most dangerous opponents. So if you square off with him and he seems to be mostly hat, you should feel honored. And afraid. One last door. For those travelers who survive the hospitality of the Brutals, a new challenge may await. Rango, the bouncer. He's not the most focused, but Rango is a valuable player on the Brutals team, always coming through in the end. A master of his boomeranging trampoline hat, he can throw it both straight and curved with almost unnatural control over the way it flies. On the other hand, he sometimes zones out a bit and looks confused. That's your chance to counterattack. Best hat handler on the team. Harriet, Pyrotechnics. The least predictable of the Brutals, Harriet is most often found throwing bombs with her hair. When her homemade bombs explode, they leave a pool of fire on the ground, so try knocking them away before they explode. While it may seem reckless to have her hat filled with bombs, Harriet is devious and keeps a lot of spare explosives with her, so watch out. It's best not to get her mad. Spewart the Entertainer. Spinning around while spitting poison in a wide area, Spewart is the least subtle of the Brutals, but he also has an unexpectedly artistic side, as his poisonous ground paintings show. Is the vulgarity all an act? 3 keys to the kingdom. 1. Watch out for the moon's light gravity. You can still die falling off a cliff. 2. Investigate behind all those stone-carved vegetables. 3. Greet all 4 kingdoms to the kingdom. You know who they are. No more hints! Woohoo! There is one kingdom left to explore. So when we come back next time, we'll be finishing up the game, because I really hope I'll be able to finish what little is left. I mean, you can see, I can get to the edge without falling off the edge. Come on. I have 868 power moons. There are only 880 in the game, and I'm not getting 2 of them, so there's 10 left to go. So I hope I'll be able to finish next time. At any rate, that's going to be all for today, so thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.